The voice was smooth as silk, a sound that could melt hearts and fill concert halls. A life that seemed to have it all: fame, awards, and a career that burned bright for decades. But behind the curtain of stardom, there was a shadow of pain, betrayal, and a tragic end that left the world reeling. His final days were tangled in a bitter clash between his ex-wife and daughters, unraveling secrets that shocked those who thought they knew him. Today, we step into the private world of a music legend, a place of love, heartbreak, and a haunting conclusion. What really happened in those last moments? Let's dive in. Born in Chicago in 1933, he came into a world already fractured. His father, a preacher, had vanished before he could even know him, leaving his teenage mother to raise him alone. She was young, wild, and chasing a life of freedom over family. She drifted in and out, leaving his grandmother to step in. Strict and devout, his grandmother filled his early years with gospel hymns and church pews. By age 7, her encouragement or maybe insistence pushed him to sing for the congregation. Shy at first, the crowd's cheers lit a fire in him. Singing became his refuge, his joy, his path. His mother tried to pull things together when he was 8, bringing him back to live with her. But her restless spirit and rumored struggles with drugs made stability a dream. Recognizing her limits, she sent him to live with a kind, faith-filled family. Their son, a boy his age, became like a brother. They sang together, laughed together, grew up side by side in church choirs and shared meals. This friend, older by just a bit, guided him, filling the gap left by an absent father. But when his friend left for Los Angeles to chase a music career in 1955, the young singer was left feeling lost. He joined the military as a paratrooper. The military was no gentle teacher. He made 26 jumps, each one a heart-pounding plunge. While others shouted with bravado, he admitted to screaming in fear. He'd been told each jump would earn extra pay, but it was a cruel lie. He risked everything for nothing. When he left the service in 1958, he tracked down his old friend, now making waves in secular music. They reconnected, performing at small gigs together. Both young and charismatic, they drew crowds and attention from women wherever they went. Around this time, whispers began about a daughter born to a young woman he'd been involved with. Details were scarce, and he wasn't a steady presence in her life. By 1962, his friend was riding high, working on a soulful hit that would define an era. He asked his old friend to sing backup, and those iconic "yeah, yeah, yeah" shouts became part of a classic track. But he wasn't content staying in the background. A performance at a Los Angeles club caught the eye of a record executive, and soon he had a deal. His debut album, a mix of blues and soul, went gold. By 1966, a live album and a chart-topping single about love's pain cemented his rise. A Grammy followed in 1967, and by the 1970s, he was a star, packing venues and lighting up TV screens. His biggest hit, a smooth anthem of devotion, topped charts and became his legacy. But behind the music, darker stories simmered. Rumors spoke of childhood trauma, moments of betrayal by trusted figures that left scars. One story claimed that, at 6, he woke to inappropriate advances from women his mother left him with. Another whispered of abuse by a church figure. Unproven, these tales painted a picture of a boy shaped by pain, a pain that followed him into adulthood. If this story touches your heart, please share it to keep his legacy alive. Let's keep going. His first marriage, to a woman we'll call Sarah, began in 1963 under a cloud of scandal. She was dating a club owner who booked him to perform, hoping to impress her. Instead, the singer's voice and charisma drew her in. Their connection was instant, electric. One night, she stole her mother's car to meet him at a motel, defying warnings and prejudice to be with him. Her mother's rage was fierce, destroying his records and hurling insults. But Sarah was all in, even if it meant running away. Their early days were far from glamorous, living out of cars, scraping by in seedy motels. One tale claimed she disguised herself to avoid suspicion, a humiliating act born of love. But did he love her back? Some doubted it. Stories swirled of his cruelty. He'd leave her in grim motels for weeks, alone and hungry, while he partied elsewhere. One rumor said he was living with another woman, indulging in excess while Sarah suffered. She clung to hope, but after weeks of abandonment, she called her father, only to be disowned. "My daughter is dead," he said, hanging up. The words broke her. Yet, despite the pain, they married in 1963. Their life together was a storm. His growing addiction to drugs and alcohol fueled chaos. Sarah gave birth to their son, but the marriage crumbled under his absences and betrayals. One morning, Sarah walked into a hotel room to find him with another woman, calm but shattered. She spoke kindly to the woman, even driving her home and buying her food. Later, she found a letter in his things, a proposal to another woman, a famous singer's daughter. Furious, he struck her for discovering it. Despite his apologies, the damage was done. His friend, now a music icon, often visited their home, urging Sarah to forgive his betrayals. "It's just the road," he'd say. But alone with her, his tone shifted. Over lunch, he confessed his frustration with his friend's behavior, hinting at his own feelings for her. Sarah, torn, pulled away, unsure of his intentions. The night his friend died in 1964 shook him to his core. He'd been home unexpectedly, and his friend's visit felt off. The next morning, news of the murder hit like a tidal wave. Rumors of foul play swirled, with some pointing to organized crime. A famous boxer vowed to investigate, but was warned off. The loss deepened the singer's spiral. His violence towards Sarah grew, and he became entangled with a dangerous woman, rumored to be a mobster's daughter. Sarah confronted her, learning she too was pregnant. The woman's threats pushed Sarah to a breaking point. Pregnant and armed, she flew to a show, ready to face her rival. The tension was palpable, but the confrontation never came. If this story's hitting you, please share it. There's more to uncover. His abuse didn't stop with Sarah. Their son faced cruelty, 2 stories of broken noses, and resentment over a softer childhood. While he publicly supported causes like education, he refused to fund his son's college. His daughter, though, was treated differently, mentored like a protege. His behavior grew erratic. He lashed out at peers, furious that younger artists outsold him. Sarah, pushed beyond her limits, filed for divorce and a restraining order. He responded with violence, shoving the order in her mouth. She took him back, hoping to save their family, until a chilling night in the early 1970s. Drunk and high, he turned on Sarah and their children at Christmas dinner. When she intervened, he dragged her to the bathroom, threatening her life with a gun. In a desperate bid to survive, she played along, luring him into a bath. Then she fled, leaving her children behind. It was her escape, but it cost her years without them. They divorced in 1973, but their connection lingered. He moved on, chasing women relentlessly. In 1988, a young woman fell hard for him, spending her money to lavish him with gifts. She dreamed of marriage, only to learn he'd wed another, a stylish, ambitious woman who loved luxury. This new wife, let's call her Lisa, was different from Sarah. Their marriage had no children, and some called her calculating. He still saw Sarah on the side, but a new woman, a flight attendant, changed everything. Young and bold, she pursued him aggressively, threatening Lisa to secure a divorce in 2003. He married her in 2004, but the relationship was toxic. Friends called it elder abuse. She controlled his money, isolated him, and allegedly struck him. In 2005, they presented a baby as theirs, but rumors claimed it was adopted under shady circumstances, tied to a young athlete's scandal. That same year, lung cancer struck. She refused him proper care, pushing unproven treatments. He discovered she'd stolen hundreds of thousands, but time was running out. In January 2006, as he lay dying, Sarah and his daughter were by his side. He made peace with his son, expressing regret, but his wife stormed in, forcing Sarah out and pressuring him to sign a new will. Hours later, at 72, he was gone. His fortune's fate unclear. His final years were spent in a quiet Arizona estate, a desert haven with sunlit rooms and cactus gardens. It was his sanctuary, a place of reflection as illness closed in. Even in death, drama followed. At his funeral, his daughter clashed with his widow, accusing her of greed. The widow brushed it off. He was laid to rest on January 13, 2006, leaving a legacy of music and a life of untold pain. This story is a roller coaster of triumph and tragedy. If it moved you, please like, subscribe, and share to honor his memory. Let's keep his music alive.